Hi everyone, and welcome back to Study English with Frank. In today's lesson, we're going to continue our series on vocabulary where we're learning people's occupations, what types of work that people do. And in this lesson, we're going to learn another 20. We've already learned 60, and today we're going to learn another 20. And so if you're ready, let's go. What do you do? I am a soldier. I am a soldier. And this is a very important job that every country has trained soldiers to protect the country from the invasions that might happen from other neighboring countries. Right now we have a situation where Russia is invading the Ukraine. And I'm sure that the people of Ukraine are really counting on their soldiers to protect them from the Russian army. Soldiers. What do you do? I am an executive assistant. An executive assistant. Oh, what does an executive assistant do? And they might tell you all of the different ways that they help out one of the executives at the office or corporation that they work for. They might, screen all of the emails and other communication that comes in, regular mail, and they might make sure that their executive is on time for meetings. They might schedule out their whole day or week or month ahead of time. They might purchase airline tickets. There's so many things that an executive assistant can do to help the executive be more focused on the really important work that they have to concentrate on. They'll have somebody that looks after all of the regular routine things. And so it's an important work that people do when they are an executive assistant. I am a secretary. I am a secretary. Now, this is a job that is kind of falling by the wayside these days in a lot of corporations and organizations. People are doing their own secretarial work. I know at the organization that I work for, we don't really have secretaries anymore. People are able to write their own emails and maybe book their own flights, answer their own phone calls, and schedule their own days. And so it's not so necessary anymore to have a person who's dedicated to doing all of those things for you, unless you're a top executive in the corporation. You might have an executive assistant. But most people these days don't have a dedicated secretary. But the job still exists, and it's also good to know about the position as we think historically as well. I remember back when I was a boy, it was quite common for anybody who worked in business to have a secretary, someone to answer the phone, open the mail, take dictation. That was a big thing that secretaries did. If someone wanted to write a letter to another business or corporation, they would call their secretary into their office and dictate a letter to them, and the secretary might need to know shorthand and write down everything that their boss said, and then go and type the letter on a regular typewriter, and then bring the typed letter back to their boss for them to sign. There was lots of things that a secretary could do, but now with email and computers, it's much easier to do all of these things ourselves these days. What type of work do you do? Oh, I'm a businesswoman. I am a businesswoman. Here's an example where the term woman is added to what used to be just businessman. That's our next example. A businessman. I am a businessman. But if you're a female, you wouldn't say that. And so you would say, I am a businesswoman. I am in business. I'm a businesswoman. And when someone refers to themselves as a businesswoman, it usually means one of two things. One, they are high up in the corporation structure of the place where they work, and they might even have an executive position where they work. And so they say, I'm a businesswoman. I'm in business. I work at a corporation. I'm a businesswoman. Or it may mean that they own their own business. A lot of times women who own their own business will say, well, I'm a businesswoman. I run my own business, they might say. And it's the same with businessmen. They work at a corporation or they own their own corporation. I'm a businessman. What do you do? I am a real estate agent. A real estate agent. And when people go to sell their home or office, they usually call a real estate agent to handle all of the people who might be interested and also handle the actual sale of your house or business. Now, in Canada and the United States and probably other countries as well, it's not necessary to hire a real estate agent if you want to sell your house. And you might put up a sign for sale yourself out on your lawn, and it might say, for sale by owner. For sale by owner. And that means that you're doing all of the work that the real estate agent usually does. And that might be you're the one that shows the house. When people are interested to come look at the house, you're the one that is showing them the house. And when it comes time to do all the paperwork, you are the one that sets up all the paperwork. But because sometimes the paperwork, the legal part of selling a house can be quite complicated, most people just like to turn that over to a real estate agent. What do you do? I am a politician. Oh, you are a politician. How interesting. That must be fascinating work. A politician. What level of government are you in? Or what level of government do you serve in? You might ask, because here in Canada and the United States, people might be in municipal government. That's government of the local city area. Municipal government. Or they might be in Canada part of the provincial government in politics. They might be running for the provincial government position. Or they might be running in the national government and attempting to become a member of parliament or a senator in the United States. There are so many different types of positions that you can take up when you are a politician. And so you'll have many questions that you can ask if someone says, I am a politician. I am an artist, someone might say. Oh, you are an artist. What type of art do you do? There's so many different types of art that people can do, so you need to ask them some follow-up questions. They might paint portraits of people, they might paint landscapes, or they might do something completely different. They might design art on a computer, for example, and still, even though they're working with a computer, they will call themselves an artist. Someone who composes music might consider themselves to be a real artist at their work. And so people, when they say they are an artist, it can mean many different things, and you'll want to ask them some more questions. I am a painter. A painter. And usually when people call themselves a painter, it means that they paint houses or office buildings or schools. They apply paint to the walls of these buildings, a painter. But People who paint on canvas can also call themselves a painter. I paint beautiful landscapes. I'm a painter. I paint people's portraits. I'm a painter. And so you need to ask them, well, what kind of painter are you? What do you paint, you might ask. What do you do? I am an optometrist. And if you wear glasses at all, you probably are very familiar with the type of work optometrist does. They help people get fitted for their glasses and make sure that they're able to see properly before they leave the store. I am an optician. I am an optician. And you might wonder, well, what's the difference between an optometrist and an optician? Well, the optician is one that helps you know what kind of prescription you need for your glasses. They run you through a series of tests. They ask you all sorts of questions as they turn knobs and dials and have you look through the lenses as they change and ask you to read eye charts. And based on their exam, they will know just what type of glasses you should get, what strength you should get to help correct your vision. And so that's what an optician does. And usually it takes more education to be an optician than it does to be an optometrist. What type of work do you do? Oh, I am a judge. Well, that's interesting work, isn't it? And so you'll have lots to talk to if you are talking to someone who says they are a judge. Oh, what type of court do you work at? That must be fascinating work to be a judge. How did you become a judge, you might ask? And so they might tell you the story of how they became a judge. They were a lawyer for many years, and then they were asked or applied to become a judge. What type of work do you do? I am a gardener. A gardener. Now, when someone says that they are a gardener, this can mean a couple of different things, so you'll want to ask them some more questions. My wife loves to garden in the summertime here in Canada, and so she might say that she's a gardener. She loves to work in the garden, but that's not really her job title. It's more of a hobby. If someone says they are a gardener as a job position, it usually means that they work for maybe a landscaping company, and they will work to develop the gardens and the lawn and the trees for a home or a corporation, and it will be their responsibility to make sure that everything is coordinated and looks beautiful for the home or the office where they're working. And so that might be their full-time job, not just a hobby. What type of work do you do? I am a coder. I am a coder. And these are the people that write computer programs and develop computer software and are very important to help us in our modern society to develop all of this software that helps run our computers. I am a coder. They write code, which is computer language. And there are many different types of computer languages, and so to become a coder is really someone who has learned many different languages. So usually these people are very smart, and they have learned several different languages, computer languages. What do you do? I am a florist. A florist. This is usually someone who works at a flower shop. They bring in plants and flowers and make sure that they are all looking very good. And when a customer comes into the flower shop, they might help them pick out the best flowers for them and arrange them. I am a florist. What type of work do you do? Oh, I am a printer. Oh, you are a printer. Well, tell me more about that. What does a printer do? And it's an interesting term because we use it to describe the actual machine that prints out things from our computer, a printer. But it's actually a job position as well. It's actually a company can be called a print shop. And if you are the owner of the print shop, or you work in a high position at the print shop, then you might call yourself a printer. And that's someone who sets up the plates. When you want to make a magazine or a brochure or print a book, well, there are people that work at the print shop that will set everything up for that. And then once the plates are all ready, they put it in the machines and they might run 100,000 copies of your brochure. And that is the work of a printer. What do you do? I am a scientist. A scientist. Oh, tell me more about the work that you do in science. What kind of scientist are you? You'll want to ask, because there's so many different fields of science that they might be in. What type of work do you do? Oh, I am a pilot. Oh, you are a pilot. What airline do you work for? You might ask. A pilot can be someone who flies just a small plane or the big jets. And it's important work. You really need to know what you're doing to be a pilot of a big jet, because the life of so many people are in your hands every day. You don't want to make any mistakes when you're a pilot. What do you do? I am a baker. I am a baker. And these are the people that make all the wonderful baked goods that we buy at the bakery, all of the pastries, the breads, and so we really appreciate bakers. I am a butcher. Oh, you are a butcher. And these are the people that purchase animals that have just been slaughtered and will divide the animal up into many parts and sell them as different cuts of meat that people like to purchase as they come into the butchery shop. The butchery shop. I am a butcher. All right, well, that's it for this section. Now we can do our vocabulary drills. Soldier. Soldier. Executive assistant. Executive assistant. Secretary. Secretary. Businesswoman. Businesswoman. Businessman. Businessman. Real estate agent. Real estate agent. Politician. Politician. Artist. Artist. Painter. Painter. Optometrist. Optometrist. Optician. Optician. Judge. Judge. Gardner. Gardner, coder, coder, florist, florist, printer, printer, scientist, scientist, pilot, pilot, baker, baker, butcher, butcher. Well, there you have it. Here's another 20 occupations that people do. This is lesson 4 in our series, and we've got one more to go. And so I hope that we'll see you next time here to learn the remaining 20 in our series. So long for now.